Welcome to MarketPulse Pros and Pioneers. Each week, I talk with industry leaders on both marketing and entrepreneurship and business to find out all about their wins and failures in marketing right now. We'll hear all about successes and wins and what's fallen flat so that you can take that knowledge and implement it. Learn from the best, from the folks who've been there and done it all, as well as people just like you. Thanks for joining us. This is MarketPulse Pros and Pioneers.
Hello and welcome back for another episode of MarketPulse Pros and Pioneers podcast. I'm Paul, the host of the show from Javelin Content Management, and we're here to bring you every week some different marketing strategies, views, opinions, and showcasing some fantastic businesses. We hear from marketing experts who've been there and done it all, and business owners who are in the process of learning it themselves, figuring out new ways of doing things and sharing that knowledge and expertise. Today, I have the pleasure of bringing on to the show Devrim Celikay, who's a 16-year-old from Gateshead. Up the road from me, you might hear my accent come out a bit more today when I'm not doing my posh phone voice, which will cause me absolute problems later on when I try to transcribe this down with technology, but never mind. And Devrim is the founder already of his own business, Cognaite, which is a company that specialises in helping other agencies with AI automation. So Devrim's just finished his GCSEs. We got talking on LinkedIn, he interacted in some of my posts, and I cannot help but be impressed with his business acumen. Devrim's already been a growth specialist with one business, started his own business up, and has a couple of clients under his belt already. Devrim, welcome to the show, mate. How are you?
I'm glad to be on. I think I'm excited to get on a podcast. This is my first one, so it's going to be very good. And yeah, I started a business about a year ago, and I've just been learning bit by bit. I've got some experience doing like appointment setting, growth specialist, as Paul mentioned, and it's just a good journey to be on. I'm learning a lot. I'm meeting good people like Paul, and it's good to start getting some video content out. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. No problem at all. It has to be asked, Devrim. It has to be asked. It's a pretty short journey in terms of months and years, right? But how did you get to be starting your own business? Why would a 15-year-old choose, or 16-year-old, as you now are, choose to be running your own business rather than having lie-ins and getting drunk?
I think it's just loads of people see the content on YouTube, get financial freedom, all of that. And I saw some of it, started to think about it. And then I realized it's a lot easier than it seems. You've just got to put a little bit of work in, and there's not much competition when you look at it because everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's watching Netflix every night, going out, having fun. But then I enjoy sitting on a laptop making money. It's just something to do. I think it's not too out of the ordinary when you think about it. It's just doing a bit of work when you're at home by yourself. You, instead of sitting around doing nothing, I'm just doing a bit on my laptop. And it was really just getting a bit bored of doing normal things. I got fed up with my Xbox. I thought, what can I do? I started looking around, saw LinkedIn, saw all these YouTube videos of drop shipping and whatever, and I found AI automation, and I thought, let's give this a go, and it's worked out quite well.
That's fantastic. I love that idea that you just, everybody, a lot of people see it, right? Not many people get to do it, is hitting on that thing that you enjoy doing as a job. And when you do that, it's just like being paid to do your hobby. I thoroughly enjoy my job. It took me a long time to find something that I wanted to do, and I would never in a million years set out to work in video repurposing. I never considered that at a young age. I think I was told at school I would probably be a zookeeper or something bizarre like that. Yeah. That's obviously been supported by your school as well. You take economics, and you've been educated around the values of being active on LinkedIn as well, right?
Yes, so my economics teacher is a big advocate for getting on LinkedIn. He's always telling us students, you need to grow your network, you need to get on there, start connecting with people. That's how I got in contact with Paul on LinkedIn networking. And I think teachers like that and people who get you started and things are so important. I've been on LinkedIn, then you start to see more and more opportunities. I think my first few clients have come through LinkedIn from just reaching out to people and being a real person and being authentic and getting started at such a young age. I think it makes people realize that you need to be less afraid to take risks. You need to just go for it. So a lot of people look at content and think, you're worried about other people finding out what you do. You're worried about getting made a mug of. But I think it's a signal to just get started. So when you've got some good people in the background spurring you on, it's really good and it's really valuable to have that kickstart. And then once you start, it gets a lot easier. The first bit's always the hardest part.
And I think that's what really blew me away is I see so many people failing on LinkedIn because they're buying these digital marketing courses that are out there on how to find leads on LinkedIn, how to kill it in the messages, how to cold outreach to people. And 999 out of 1,000 even are absolute garbage. I know a few people who do it really well. And then when we got talking, it just blew me away that a 16-year-old who's got no real business experience behind him in terms of some of years compared to all the people that I get reached out to by, could just be so nailing it by just being yourself, by just being a bit curious, by being a bit interesting and interested, which I think really makes the difference. Like you genuinely want to connect with people. Is that fair?
Yeah, I see that a lot. Obviously, I'm new to it. I've only been in it a year, but even now I see a lot of people posting on LinkedIn. They're trying to use all these dead set scripts or the secret to LinkedIn and all that. And I think it just feels a bit disingenuous. It's a bit not authentic. It's just jump on and be yourself and to start a post a bit, speak to people like real people. And I said I've been on business for about a year, but I've already seen so many posts of everyone just saying the secret of business is being a human. You've got to speak to someone like they're a human. I think people are refreshed to see someone who's actually going to be realistic with them and face to face, not face to face, but transparent with them and actually be the person they are. So yeah, it's always good to get on LinkedIn and just connect with people. And then once you do it a bit, you start to learn more and you think, oh yeah, it's not as hard as it is. And then even from jumping on with Paul and realizing how much he valued authenticity, I've got loads of referrals from that, and it just shows how initially being authentic has so many knock-on effects. It's very good to just learn as we're going as well and realize that a small thing leads to bigger things.
That's it, right? People miss out on this in terms of networking. They're always so worried about that sale and the money. And if you can, and I know it's not easy to do, but if you can get past all of that and really connect with people on a human level, so sharing some of your personal stuff as well as some of your business stuff, but being honest and open and all these buzzwords that fly around, but genuinely taking them to heart, it becomes easy for people to refer you because they get you, and you will naturally connect with people who are aligned with how you think, how you work, your values. And the end goal for all of us is to find more people like that. One of the things that I find quite ironic is that you're a big champion of kind of being yourself and being organic and the human behind the keyboard.
Yeah.
And yet you're in an automation business. That's a big irony, but like, why automation?
Automation is just, it's inevitable that it's going to become big. You see everything about AI and everyone knows AI is huge. The question is, where will AI fit in? It's got to fit in somewhere, but figuring out where is the hard part. So I'm trying to help businesses implement it in the correct places and help them improve their bottom lines, get things more automated on the back end. And really automation, it started from just, as I mentioned earlier, just seeing the YouTube videos on it and seeing everyone rave about how to make £1,000 a day with AI. They never worked, but the whole concept of using AI worked. And then once I got chatting to business owners, I realized that this is something people really value. This is something that has a future in it and that people are looking into but don't actually realize the power of. So if I can start to use it for my own benefit and help business owners with it as well, then it's a very lucrative opportunity. So it was just a continuous journey. It wasn't just a moment where I thought AI is it. It was learn a little bit about it, then learn a bit more, then speak to someone, realize a new thing that they're using AI for, and then learn a bit more, speak to some more people, and it's continuously growing. There's things I don't know now that I'll know in 6 months' time that people will pay me for and that people will want help with that I'm still learning about. It's just continuous, getting more and more. And I think as far as automation goes, it's always going to be improving as well. So it's not as if I can get capped out. It's going to be continuously evolving. So it's good as I'm evolving as a business person, the field that I'm in is going as well. So we're going together and it'll keep getting better and better, hopefully.
And I think that's a big theme that's reflected by a lot of our guests that we've had on the show, from whether they're marketers or business owners. If they've been successful at doing what they do, it's that path of continuous learning. It's not a case
Yeah.
of I'm now an expert and I can sit back. That will get you caught out eventually. It might be nice to be able to sit back at that point, but you keep yourself on your toes and keep learning, you will keep ahead of the pack. If I can bring it back a little bit then, so we mentioned that you work with agencies and you do automation. Can you bring that to life a little bit for the audience out there? Like, what kind of agencies are your ideal clients?
Yeah.
And what do you mean by an automation? Some simple examples, if you could.
So I think the main thing is like agencies that are digital, obviously, and got a lot of things going on. So I'll just run a couple of examples of automations and then you can see whether they resonate with you. So first off, you've got client onboard, and that's one that I always get asked to do. So when you sign on a new client, you want to create the Google folders, add them to spreadsheets and send over documents, invoices. We automate that whole process to save your employees a lot of time. Another one is meeting booking. So online now, you're always on Zoom calls like this. We can automate notifications on the back of the Zoom call bookings. And some other ones are just little ins and outs within the business. So when a deal gets moved in HubSpot or in Pipedrive, we're then going to send a notification or we're going to update Trello, just little movements within the business. So it's more for the agencies where they're trying to expand. They've got a lot of things going on, but you're not at the stage where you want to hire another employee yet, but you're at the stage where you're starting to lose control of operations. You're thinking there's a lot going on. We need to dial things in. And that's the main people that I go for, which is as you're starting to expand, you realize you need more time, and automation frees that time up for you.
Yeah, I think when we were chatting before, you summarized yourself as the outsourced automation department. And I love that. I love that because I think it just helps people see that we often talk about outsourced marketing and outsourced sales teams or outsourced creatives and all those sorts of things. And we're now entering an era where outsourced automation, lots of business owners are my age and a bit older, and I'll be honest, like a lot of business owners who are my age struggle with the idea and concept of automation, what can and can't be automated. So it's fascinating to see like a young guy like yourself just getting out there and being active. One of the things that we touched on when we very first interacted on that post on LinkedIn actually was I was talking around the anxiety of being a business owner and how it's really stressful for me because like I've got bills to pay, a mortgage and kind of lots of things resting on my shoulders at home, and I can't afford to take many gambles. I've got to make sure that the gambles I take are right. And you were commenting that you don't really feel that pressure. I can't imagine. That must be really exciting for you that you can just take those risks and not worry.
Yeah, I think with the nature of being so young, I'm still living under my parents' roof. I haven't got any fixed overheads yet until I start paying boards. I've got the freedom to experiment. So loads of business owners there, as you said, you've got risks that you need to balance out with your priorities and your responsibilities. Whereas I think initially it's just throwing mud at a wall, seeing what sticks, and that kind of works for a lot of it because as automation is such an expansive space, AI keeps evolving, things keep getting better and better. I've just got the opportunity to just keep throwing things at the wall, seeing what works, see what doesn't. And then when it does work, keep going at that and figuring out, okay, this part of the business model worked, let's look at the next part and just think around that as well. So it's very exciting to not have any responsibilities in it. Also, I think clients really value it as well. So when I've got a lot of free time now, I'm on school holidays. So I've just finished my exams, as Paul mentioned earlier on. I've got loads of free time. So jealous, yeah. But still, I'm working full days pretty much. So I think clients really value the fact that I'll just go away and I'll experiment with loads of things. They'll say, we've got this workflow in ideas. We kind of know what we want, and I'll just go away and experiment with a bunch of things and do the nitty gritty parts of technical bits that would take them loads of time to learn. I already know it, and it's just a case of solving the puzzle. And that's another thing that's really exciting about business, just solving things. Like you have an issue, you got a problem, you just keep working to solve it. And then when it does click, you realize, oh, it wasn't as hard as it was. And yeah, I've got the freedom to do that, which is really promising. So I'm just going to make the most of it, make sure I don't waste time while I've got no responsibilities of financial responsibilities, and make sure that I make the most of the freedom. Yeah.
Hi, and thanks for joining us for the show. I'm Paul, founder here at Javelin Content Management. We specialize in getting ideas out of your head, down into video, and out to your social media through repurposing and efficient content strategies. If you want to find out how you can convert your ideal audience into paying customers, reach out to us, javelincontent.com, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. There's such an amazing future for you out there. Like to be. I'm sure anybody who's listening to this podcast will be sat there in a bit of disbelief that you talk so fluently the business language at the age that you are. We've spent the weekend miserable after the Lamine Yamal Spanish team, but seeing such a raw talent at such a young age come in, I can't help feel that there's parallels there for me with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, if only I'm the Lamine Yamal of business, I'll take it, definitely.
Grant Cardone, are you watching? Are you watching, Grant Cardone? So I think the thing that really fascinates me in terms of where we're going with this podcast is you've mirrored a lot of my own strategy for running your business, and you've been completely organic so far. There's no paid media, there's no SEO, there's none of that sort of things. So walk us through, if you would, like some of the key elements of how you've gotten out there and attracted the clients that you have so far, and what's next on your strategy for your marketing.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I've got most of them initially from LinkedIn. So my first, let me just plan it out. So I started about a year ago, July of 2023. I think I went about, say, 5 months of trying to do cold email. I was working off of a gmail.com. Nothing was getting delivered, and I was doing every single email personalized. I think I did about 400 emails over 5 months, very inefficient, sending almost no volume out. And it was just, I was thinking, it's got to work eventually, but I realized it wasn't. So I got on LinkedIn. I think January 1st this year, I realized I'm going to post every day. I started to go serious about business more, and I've started to post on LinkedIn. I got my first client in February of this year through LinkedIn. We were just talking back and forth, and he said, you know what, we both don't know what we're going to do in AI automation. Let's just go for it. He just paid me 100 quid. And we just said, let's just do something. And we just got started. So that's the first client I got organically. And then working from there, that first client was a lead general agency. So he's been doing cold emails for me, which kind of works hand in hand, gets me some outbound, and I do automations for him. And then, so obviously I've got some clients from that cold email. And then LinkedIn as well has been really good for getting clients, because I just reach out to people, get some referrals. I've got like 3 clients through referrals at this point, and it's just reaching out to people. And the best part is the trust. So say you reach out over the phone, you've got to build the trust on the phone. You reach out through email, you've got to build the trust on the email. If someone refers you, which I've found out pretty quickly, which is, I think, very valuable to learn this quickly, is just if someone refers you, that whole trust is already there. So now they already believe that you can solve the problem. All you've got to do is actually solve it, which is the easy part. The hard part's making the sale. So referrals are very valuable for me, business-wise, getting clients, and things like this will only make it better, because people like Paul, pretty reputable. They've got big audiences on LinkedIn, and he's got a lot of connections as well. They'll see me jumping on a call with people like this, and they'll think, he must be serious about his business. So getting the trust there, getting the reputation there is very valuable in me getting clients. I think, who was it? Warren Buffett said it takes a lifetime to build a reputation. So I think building this reputation definitely going to benefit me, and that's the main way I get clients. Just LinkedIn, social, trust, that whole area.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that hear that story a lot of the time from other people and really doubt it, because they see so many people who fall by the wayside, who don't manage to achieve that and don't quite pull it off, or they try for months and months and don't see any fruit from it. I think it's just fascinating to see somebody who's completely fresh into the business world to be able to take that and run with it. And you've not got, in my eyes, I think a lot of people have bad habits and bad strategies and a bad way of thinking about business because they've come at it too late, or they've learned the wrong things from the wrong people. And for me, this is just vindication and proof that what I've said from the beginning is my whole business is set up to help people create trust at scale through video, right? And it's about the video turning your personal passions, your motivations, your experience, your problems you solve, your business, and talking about it from a human perspective. Being able to look people in the eyes and say, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I represent and why I want to do it. And to see somebody take that almost to the next level. Like you've got no preconceptions. You've just gone out there and heard the advice and you put it into practice and you've made a success of it. It proves that it is a valid marketing strategy if you're genuine with it. You've got to, if you're kidding yourself that this is a genuine approach, but actually it's all about the money, it's not going to work because it will shine
it's
through.
got to be genuine. I think that's definitely come in. I think with my first client, as I mentioned, it was just £100. I realized I was still enjoying it. For 7 months, I'd got no money in, and some people would think, "Oh, I'd sack it off. It's not worth it." But I was enjoying it because I'm sending out emails. I'm learning more about emails. I'm doing a little bit of work on the back end, building some projects out, even though the word sell it, and I'm just learning and learning. And I thought, the experience is the best part. Obviously, money comes as a byproduct, and money's important, obviously. But I think the best part is getting this reps in. So I know a lot more about sales than some other people my age because I've been sending messages on LinkedIn for 6-7 months. I've been sending emails. I've been jumping on sales calls, and getting the experiences is really exciting. And just learning bit by bit to get better and better each time is definitely a huge thing that I like to do. And just building trust, obviously, and learning the different strategies. So you mentioned doing video a lot. And then there's also cold email, outbound phone, and I've tried all of them, and it's just learning what works, learning what doesn't, and the continuous journey is the most exciting part. Even if you're not making money, comes as a byproduct, and that's genuineness inside. I want to get more experience. I want to become better. It's not all about the money, which I think makes it a lot easier, because when times get hard and you're not making the sales, you're thinking some people might just sack it off and get disheartened over the money not coming in, but I just keep going because I value the experience.
So to move on then to the questions I ask every guest, and I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on these two questions. So what is one thing that you wish small business owners or medium-sized business owners would do more of with their marketing? What do you think is the right way for them to go about their marketing that they're probably not doing at the moment? Where they're falling down?
I think, honestly, it's been direct. You see a lot of huge companies like Coca-Cola and that do advertisements and they've got no words on them. And then you see a small business trying to replicate that and you're thinking, they've got billions in the bank. That's why they're doing that. But you haven't got billions. You're running, maybe not paycheck to paycheck, but you're running fine margins. You need to be able to be direct. So I think with automation, it being direct is very good. And just marketing as a whole in a smaller business, you need to tell people exactly who you're going for. You need to tell people what you're going to give them, drive with value. I did a LinkedIn post about this the other day. Drive them with value and make sure that you're not telling people about the product you're selling, you're telling people about what the product's going to do for them and what the benefits are going to be. And that's one thing I want to see a lot more people do. It. I'm not a marketer, so to speak. I'm more of a techie guy, which implements some sales into it. But when you see marketing, it's a lot of it's trying to be too vague, trying to be too fancy, trying to be too corporate, and that just put an advert out, tell people who you are, tell them what you do, and tell them how they need to get in contact with you. And once you've got those three things, it can't go wrong, can it? Because you're going to get exactly who you want to go for you.
Awesome. And then to flip that on its head, what's one thing that you wish small business owners would stop doing right now with their market? And what do you see that everybody tries to do that just doesn't work or doesn't have the results that they think it does?
I'm not too sure. I think all marketing works. That's the reason it's stuck around for so long, because everything works if you go out in the right direction. I think, obviously, coming out from an automations perspective, I'm going to be a bit biased. I'd say stop doing it all manually, start to implement AI into parts of it. So let's say every single day you're developing a new blog or you're writing a new article or something like that, or you're writing a new advert. Why not just have AI create a summary and give you key bullet points to cover in the blog? So start to be able to pump it out lots and lots more. I think sticking with one idea, that's one thing business owners need to stop doing. Sticking with one idea. You need to get funnels going and keep pumping out loads of ideas and keep iterating. So stop sticking with one idea, get AI involved, and just go at it from a much more, just throw things at the wall, see what sticks, and keep trying new things.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I've literally spent the morning building a ChatGPT prompt that helps me repurpose my newsletter for my website. And it's trying to keep the same tone, but maybe adding in a little bit more details. It's slightly different. So you're getting slightly different
Yeah.
blog, but more to the point, giving me all the excerpt that needs to go into the WordPress background and the tags that need to go into the background that I have to sit and think about, and maybe a different title because I maybe want to change the title up and all those sorts of things. So I think the key for me, what I took away from what you just said was bring automation in, but don't be lazy and just automate everything, because it's got to have that human element over the top, right?
You've got to add the human element. I think everyone thinks automation's here to take jobs and automate things. It's not that good yet. When it is that good, my job will be 10 times easier because I can just build something and give it to them. And it means I can let the AI prompt itself. And then it's scary when the AI can prompt itself. But I think humans are definitely used in every workflow, because otherwise you're just ignoring the fact that business is humans, communication between one another. You lose the genuineness that you're trying to have because you're making robots do the work and it doesn't come off right. Yeah. Make sure to implement automation, but not too much. Make sure I have the human elements. Make sure I get a proof check before it goes out. Make sure to add the right tones, and just stay genuine. Even if you are using AI, AI is there to save you time, not to make you lazy.
Love it. Devrim, if anybody's listening to this, and I tried to keep this show quite unbiased for a few clients and business partners and stuff on, but I really can't recommend you enough to my audience and to my network.
I appreciate it.
If people are listening to this and they're blown away by what's possible, how can they reach out to you? How can they find out more?
Don't either drop me a message on LinkedIn. I think some of these clips will go out on LinkedIn, so if you find it on there, message me on LinkedIn, or you can find a contact us form and a calendar booking on my website. So it's cognate.co.uk, cognate.co.uk, and you can find me there on that website, and you can find me on LinkedIn. Just drop me a message, reach out there, and I'll give you a free consultation. I'll look at your business. What we're doing now is we're doing like a feasibility plan. So we'll look at your whole business and think, okay, where can AI be implemented? And we do that for free. So we'll look over your whole business and we'll give you ideas of where it can be implemented. And then it's up to you whether you want to choose us to implement it or implement it yourself. But get in touch. I'll let you know all the ideas I have for your business for free, and we'll see where that goes.
Fantastic. And I'll make sure all those links are in the podcast notes as well. Devrim, thank you very much for coming along to the show. It's been a genuine pleasure.
I appreciate you having me. It's been good to get on a podcast. I think this has gone quite well. So thank you to everyone listening. Make sure to get in touch with me if you need any automations work, and don't hesitate to get in touch with Paul as well. I've got to say thank you to him for letting me on this podcast, and also thank you to him for he's done a video project for me and it's been amazing. So if you're thinking about getting video done, and I think what you like to say is you have all these doubts in your mind about getting video done, then reach out to him and realize the video is for you. So get in touch with Paul at Javelin. He's the guy for LinkedIn video, YouTube video, everything.
I've always said you can't hire a doer because we're already too busy doing things ourselves. And Devrim, you're absolutely one of those doers. Fantastic to have you on the show. Thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you.
Indeed. You stole my thunder at the end there. Thank you, audience, for listening and watching. And we'll see you next week for another MarketPulse Pros and Pioneers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to feature on a future show, or you've got some ideas for folks who would make a great guest, please drop us a line. Contact details are in the show notes, and I'd love to hear from you. Your host today was me, Paul Banks, founder at Javelin Content Management. Here at Javelin, we specialise in helping busy business owners just like you to repurpose video content, taking all the stress and tech problems away and turning your long-form video into literally hundreds of pieces of content without breaking the bank. We describe it as getting ideas out of your head into video and out to your socials. If you want to launch your personal brand, become the vendor of choice for your audience, or maximise your sales revenue impact, we'd love to hear from you. Join us next Wednesday for the next episode, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a review. Our podcast is only possible with your continued support.